What's going on YouTube? Thank you for watching the DeRosa Group's YouTube channel. My name is Matt. My company is the DeRosa Group, and I'm grateful you guys are here because we're going to have a really interesting conversation about how investing relates to other things. We talk on this channel a lot about how the mechanics of real estate investing and the day-to-day interactions of investing, how to do fix and flips, how to buy apartment buildings, how to raise capital, how to do all of that stuff. But we rarely talk about the metaphors of how real estate investing can relate to other activities in life, including sports. So today I'm bringing on a former professional rugby player to talk about how to invest like a rugby player. I cannot wait for this conversation. This is going to be super exciting because rugby is a rough and tumble sport, I think. But we're going to learn all about it and how to invest like a rugby player. So today we're going to be talking with MC Laubscher. Thank you, MC, for being here today from Cashflow Ninja, who's also, I'll let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your backstory and how you're even authorized to talk to us about investing like a rugby player. So MC, welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I loved rugby, grew up in South Africa playing rugby, played for many years, representative rugby, and I took everything that I learned from rugby into my business and my investing. So just a quick introduction about myself. I'm the host, creator and host of the Cashflow Ninja podcast. At cashflowninja.com, you can check out how I interview cashflow ninjas that share how to cash flow real estate, businesses, commodities,
I love it.
Blockchain, paper assets. Absolutely. Yeah. And then also I'm the president and CEO of Producers Wealth, where we show and help investors and teach and educate them how to create, protect, and multiply their capital in any economy and in any market.
But before that, you grew up playing rugby.
Grew up playing rugby
I grew up playing rugby, and then what eventually came there?
From age 5 as a little boy, bare feet, running around in South Africa playing rugby, and through my career had many great rugby memories. Got to travel most of the world playing rugby and playing against the best players out there that's in the world. And you know, it's a brutal sport. It's very, very physical, but it's also there's a very big mental component to it. So. Yeah. You have to stay focused. You can't get too upset when you get a couple of big hits, right?
Were you on the South African country team for rugby, or which team? Which team did you play professionally?
I was in the United States on the U.S. men's national team roster over here, and I played in a tournament here called the North American Four, which was under the International Rugby Board umbrella, and represented the United States there. So, and I was part of that player pool roster for quite a number of years.
Wow. So we're going to get into investing like a rugby player, but I guess, you know, maybe we don't have time for this in the YouTube channel, but I'd love to hear like one quick crazy rugby story you got. I mean, give me a story of some guy like getting a tooth knocked out. Have you knocked any teeth out, or are all your teeth
I've not had any teeth knocked out, but a lot of broken fingers, broken ankles, knee injuries, and so forth. Yeah, I remember the one time there was a heavy collision on the side, and in rugby, they tackle, but in the tackles, they call it like the tackle situation, there could be a breakdown or a maul. The play continues. It's not like football where they blow the whistle, right?
Right.
And I just
keep on going.
I just remember arriving there, and I just heard, and it's almost like you just heard like somebody crack a rib. You know, when you eat ribs and you crack the bone, that was kind of like the sound of it from the hit. And I'm like, man, someone's in trouble. Someone is in big trouble. And then when we got out, it was one of my teammates that had like 2 of his front teeth, just completely knocked out. And he had a mouth, a gum guard, as we call it, like a mouthpiece. And
wow,
so it was through that. So it was a heavy hit. But no, there's a lot of those stories.
It's like being in a car crash without a seatbelt on. Yeah, I got it. All right, so that's great. Really interesting to hear your analogies here on how can you bring the concepts of rugby and maybe even just of pro sports in general and that mentality into your investing strategy? How can we correlate those two?
Yeah, so What I did when I was playing rugby is I used the modeling technique. So I looked at the best players, I looked at the best teams, the best coaches, but I studied them just obsessively. So I looked at the best players, what they eat, how they train, their strength and conditioning, how they recovered, and then broke down hours of film footage on the field. I do the same thing in my business. If I want to do something, or I'm trying to add another line in my business, or trying to, especially with investing too, I try and learn from the best folks that have done it, that are on the journey, doing deals, creating deals, and try to learn everything that I can about them, and also get in contact with them. Find those mentors. So that's the first piece. And then from a second overall wealth standpoint and money piece, and on the rugby field, and I coach this as well at Princeton University, there's three kind of pieces of it. There's offensive strategies, there's defensive, and then there's protective. So people will say, well, MC, what's the difference between defensive and protective? Well, that's kind of like the red zone defense. That's like, you don't want anyone crossing this line. So that's like your protective stance, your stance, where you're defensive, you have defensive setups all over the field where you play defense, and then obviously offense. That's where you really try to score. You're trying to get over on the other side. Mm-hmm. The same with investing, and the same with money. There's a lot of things that you can do protectively from that red line stance to make sure that there's guarantees, there's security based into it. That's like the financial security portion. Defensively, there's things that you can do as well that aren't as heavy loaded with risk, I would say. And then there's offensive strategies. That's where you're attacking more and you try to get the ball on the other side of the line, right, and actually close that deal and score the try.
Perhaps even like looking for windows of opportunity. Like in rugby, it would be, okay, they've got a weak man on this position, or they're just not covered on this side. So here's an opportunity for me to get in and get a score, to just drive through that window and close on an opportunity. And sometimes it might be perhaps like a head-to-head where you've got a defender in front of you and you've got to get through him to get to where you want to go. Yep. And that's not that like investing is all about like aggressive tactics or anything like that, but perhaps it's about like getting around obstacles and closing and getting through windows of opportunity as well.
Yep. Yeah, the mismatches. Sports is all about matchup and mismatches. So
mismatch.
Yeah, so how you're trying to do setups on a field is there's a sequence of plays, and football is the same. Other sports is the same. You think about 5 or 6 plays ahead of how you set up the field in order to have certain matchups and mismatches. So how I look at investing is, instead of the mismatch, turn that around. And what's a mismatch like in real estate investing? Well, it's actually where your skill set and your unique ability can solve that problem in the property that's there. So it's almost like a reverse a little bit. It's a match, but I would say you're looking for that mismatch opportunity, and from bringing it from the rugby field to a real estate property, you're looking for that alignment of your skills, your creativity, the problem that you can solve, and what that property has to offer.
And the last item I would bring in, and I did not play sports professionally, but I do. I've studied a lot of sports and how they get played, and effective teams and effective and not effective teams. Now, this doesn't work for like somebody playing pro tennis that's out there on the field by themselves. But I find that just like investing, a lot of sports are team sports. And so if I decide I want to go out there and be a hot jock and be a ball hawk on the basketball court or something like that, and not look to play with my other players, I might succeed. But it's the real players that you see that have a lot of assists in basketball and a lot of goals too, and a lot of helping other players out, and a lot of just being a team player and helping me perhaps lead the team. But there's a lot of teamwork that you see on sports teams that could get integrated to investing, because I find that the best investors know how to motivate and leverage the teams that they work with, because investing is rarely a one-person sport. It's typically a team sport. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And when you score a try in rugby, where you actually have to put the ball down on the other side of the line, the points goes to the team. It doesn't go to the guy that scored the try. So to your point, rugby, that kind of framework I took with me as well. Obviously having the team on the field, but the team behind the field, coaches, mentors, advisors, all those folks, and then the team players, folks that's in the trenches with you on a daily basis. So there's so many similarities
there's a lot
between rugby and
there's a lot
investing.
to unpack here. Yeah, but I think I think it's about, like, to take it home. I love the playing defense. If you want to invest like a rugby player, you've got to play defense to your line and say these are my safety features that I'm not going to allow risk to be taken, but so far this is my red line. And on the offensive side, it's about seeing opportunities, seeing windows of opportunity to close in on, but also being willing to just face challenges head on. That could be another player in front of you that you might have to drop a shoulder and push through. And then obviously the team-based philosophy as well. Well, this is great. I know you've got another commitment, so I want to honor that. But before we go there, how do people hear more about you and what and tell us briefly about, I know you're no longer a professional rugby player. What are you up to now as a business owner, and how do people hear more about that if they want to contact you?
Yeah, thanks, Matt. They can check us out at cashflowninja.com to catch the show that's published 3 times weekly, where I interview amazing cashflow ninjas. So you get to ride with me and learn alongside me from all these amazing guests that I have. And my business is Producers Wealth. So we do a lot of infinite banking strategies, cash flow banking, bank on yourself, as folks has probably heard about it. They can check out what we teach and our strategies that incorporate a lot of what I just shared at yourownbankingsystem.com. It's yourownbankingsystem.com.
Yourownbankingsystem.com, cashflowninja.com. Those are both 2 sites that they can go to hear more about you. And I think that those, I'm familiar with your organization. I'm familiar with your podcast. I've been a guest on your podcast. And I know you've got lots of other great guests out there too. And so I can vouch that Cashflow Ninja and your organization is a great one that folks should check out more if they want to hear about alternative investing strategies, insurance strategies, all those kinds of different ways you can install those defenses and install those offenses for yourself through working with your organization. So I think it's awesome, and I think this has been a great conversation too. So I'll let you rip. And if you guys want to hear more about MC's organization, you can look in the description notes at the bottom of this video, and you can click on those links to contact MC directly and carry on a conversation from there. So MC, it's been a real honor to have you here. Thank you for teaching us how to invest like a rugby player, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on. Always a blast speaking with you.
Thank you. Thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate you guys watching the DeRosa Group's YouTube channel. As I always say, have a great and profitable week.